What's up, guys? Low-rated duelists Noah and Will here to talk about our ban list predictions for the April 2018 format. And I know I've got some cards that I definitely can talk about, and I know Will does too, that he feels pretty strongly about. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and just jump right into it, Will.
All right.
So starting off, I guess the way we decided we wanted to do this was we would each talk about anywhere from 2 to 3 cards that we think need to be hit, and then 1 or 2 cards that we think can come back. So starting with the cards that I believe should be hit on the next list, topping it off is Card of Demise. Okay. So Card of Demise just gives so much power and consistency and power plays to pretty much anything rogue, anything that runs a ton of back row, and especially probably the second best deck of this format, which would be True Draco. They can just abuse the hell out of this card. I'm sure you've played guys and you just like think you have them on the ropes, and then they top deck Card of Demise and then get into like a Dragonic Diagram, pop stuff, search stuff, and then just start the whole entire cycle all over again. It's just such an insane card in that deck, and I think it should be hit to 1 personally. I don't think banning it is the solution, just because, you know, there are rogue decks out there that can use it. But definitely hitting it to 1, I think, would be the correct move. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, like I said, I do think, I know a lot of people are like saying that the format's really balanced and stuff right now, but like, I do agree that I like that you were talking about how, yesterday you were talking about how you don't want to like completely obliterate the deck. Like, you don't want to make it towards unplayable. And I agree with that.
I don't believe in killing decks. I don't think you should make decks unplayable, because that just kind of alienates your fan base. Because there are always going to be fans of a certain deck that always want to be able to play it. And so I think making it fair, but making it playable is the right thing to do.
Right. And so I agree with you there. So what I was basically thinking is that, yeah, but I do think that Draco needs to be hit. Like, I do agree with you there. So what I was thinking is hitting. See, the thing about if you hit Masterpiece, you're right. Like, you just make it unplayable, even if you limit.
If you take Masterpiece away, the deck it has nothing else. You know, that's his power play.
Exactly. So I do agree that you should probably keep the deck playable and make it to where, you know, you keep Masterpiece, but basically I like your idea, because you also talked about limiting another card, and I would like to talk to you about it, because you even suggested limiting Diagram, which I also think is a good idea.
Yes, that was going to be my next card on the list.
Right. Oh shit, my bad.
No, it's cool. It's cool. Because I was actually just about to get into that. So, Diagram is just an insane card, and it can be used in so many other decks besides just Draco, like pure Draco. Like, there's Metal Foe Draco variants. There's like, I've seen Cosmo Draco a couple of times. I mean, that's not really a widely used deck, but it can be used in a lot of stuff. Just being able to blow something up out of your hand and like trigger off its effect in the graveyard without any kind of restriction is just kind of insane, you know. Plus you get a search on top of that. I think, again, banning it, I don't think would be the right thing to do, but definitely hitting it to 1, especially because, I mean, if you think about it, we still have 3 terraforming, you know, and plus like Metaverse. I mean, like, people don't really run Metaverse right now because we still have 3 terraforming, but if terraforming ever got hit, we do have 3 Metaverse. So it's still widely accessible, even at 1. I just think having it at 1 would be just a lot more fair, because you don't have to worry about them, because it's not even a hard once per turn. They could just pop off the effect.
It's their power play. It really is. Like, I can see if you hit Diagram, if you hit Card of Demise, or if you hit both, that deck loses so much consistency. In fact, if I were to argue one of the two, I would rather you hit Diagram than Card of Demise, just because, like, True Draco, like, it's a really daunting deck, and Masterpiece can really win a duel on his own, but Diagrams always involve, like, they have to have a Diagram, and they also draw a bunch of floodgates and stuff like that. But without that Diagram, they really can't establish board presence, in my opinion. So I do like that you want to keep the deck like playable, and at the same time, you know, manage the deck with that. But I do agree that you should at least probably keep like Diagram and stuff like that in the game, but like maybe limit it, or like do something with what's his face? I don't know, but I do like the idea of hitting either card demise or diagram. Would you hit both or just one?
Personally, I would hit both. I realize that's probably not going to happen, but if it were up to me, I'd hit both. If I had to argue which one I think deserves to be hit more, I would probably agree with you and say diagram.
Yeah, but also if you read card demise, you're just like, this card is unfair.
Yeah. Demise is such an insane card. Like even like Paleozoic and stuff, just like set everything and then
Draco can just abuse it just because it really doesn't hinder them at all.
It's just so broken. Like you just set everything and then draw 3 cards. It's just unfair, you know.
Yeah,
especially in Draco.
+2s just going around at 3. Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I do agree with those. So yes, I like that.
That takes care of my 2, at least 2 out of my 3 of which cards I think should be hit. Okay. Last one that I think should be hit should probably come as no surprise to anyone. I think Astrograph Sorcerer should be banned outright. Reason being, banned. Because think about it, because with the release of Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, you get that on the board. Even at 1, if Astrograph was at 1, you can still just search it right out of the deck, you know? And you can.
Yeah, but banned?
And it's not a hard once per turn, so even with just 1, you can still loop it and just search and then just keep doing stuff, you know? That's why I think it should be banned. It's just, I feel like with Electromite, it's just an unhealthy card for the game right now. And it's just making pendulums way too powerful.
It is definitely powerful, I agree there, but I don't know about ban worthy though. Like that's very powerful words, Noah Carpenter. You know?
Well, maybe I'm just biased because I see the shenanigans and I'm just like, this has got to stop.
Yeah. I guess for me, what I think should be, I would limit it, but you're right. Limiting really doesn't do anything because you only need 1 to do shit. And I understand like why you would do that. I don't know about banning it.
Well, I guess if you think about it, even putting it to 1, even though yes, you can still loop and do crazy stuff with it. That takes away Pendulum's like first turn Odd-Eyes Absolute Dragon play because they have to have 2 level 7s for that. And so with just 1 Astrograph, that makes it to where they don't have a second level 7 for that. So I guess that makes their first turn a little bit less crazy. But still, they can still, even with just 1, they can still go way plus off that.
Right, but like you were talking about, how would it make the deck unplayable if you only had 1?
Oh no, definitely not. Pendulums will survive with even without Astrograph. Astrograph is kind of just that icing on the cake that just takes the deck over the top.
I don't know. I think I would, if anything, I would limit it. I do think I don't know. Limit it. I mean, it's annoying and loopy and stuff. I don't know about outright banning it. It might get the Corinne treatment. I might give it the Corinne treatment. I'll see what it does at 1. And if it's still stupid and broken, then I might ban it. But right now, I don't think I'd ban it.
Yeah, I think they may go that way with it. I think without, like, beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're going to hit it in some form or fashion because it's just such an insane card right now. But yeah, I guess we'll see what they do to it. So,
alrighty.
All right. So I've got 2 cards personally that I think could come off the list. Okay. One of them, I know for a fact you probably are just like, I'm just waiting for him to say this because you know me and you know what decks I like.
Can I guess it?
All right, go ahead and guess.
It should all construct.
Yes. Yeah. So the OCG just got construct back at 1, and from the OCG metagame reports that I've seen, it's not really doing anything right now. I think it's okay to come back to 1, even though it is a really good card, especially for the Shadal deck. I think it's fine. It's been power creeps, and I think it's fine at 1. Yeah,
to be honest, like putting all power, like salt aside, because I really never liked Shadals. Shadals pissed me off. I don't even think it ever deserved to be banned. Like maybe limit, but like you're right. I mean, it can come back at 3 or even at 1, and I'd be okay with it. I never liked Shadals, and like construct was one of the main reasons. It was just annoying and loopy and stuff like that. But you're right. There's no reason for it to be there, especially with how the game is now. So I could see it coming back, and I think it can come back to multiple copies. So that's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, but unfortunately here, Konami TCG, they have a tendency to, once something gets on the forbidden list, they just keep it there forever and ever, even when it can come off.
Yeah. Like, oh wait, what?
I have a feeling though they're kind of like starting to change the way that they do that, because like you saw with the last list in February, they brought Monster Reborn and Solemn Judgment back finally. Yeah. So maybe they're kind of trying to change their thinking on that and start to kind of just bring some stuff back. But we'll see.
Okay.
All right. So my other card that I feel like could come back to 3 even would be Tribe-infecting Virus. That card does not deserve to be on the list anymore. I've heard multiple people talking about this card. It's at 3 in the OCG and it's done absolutely nothing. Unless Konami is just really, really worried about Mermails being tier 0, because you can trigger Dragoons off the discard with Tribe-infecting Virus, but that's not going to be relevant. I mean, Mermail hasn't been a relevant deck in a while now, so I think it could come back to 3 and be fine.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I don't think anybody would have run the card. So yeah, no. Back to 3.
I mean, like, yeah, its effect is good, but it's like you have to commit your normal summon to that, and then you have to actually take a neg in most cases to even get its effect off. So it's like why, that's not Yu-Gi-Oh is not that. It's not relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh in today's format anymore. So
yeah. Okay, I agree with that one.
But that's pretty much it for my stuff. So let's hear what you got.
Now we get to my stuff. All right, so I think my first one that I would like to get addressed is, I already told you about the other ones. I'm going to start with this one, is Invoked. So for me, when it comes to Invoked and it comes to like checking it, is that like Invoked has always not really been its own deck. It's always been like a splash and like everything it's in.
Right. Yeah.
So there's only like 2 problem cards in Invoked. It's just constant Alistair spam and Makaba, in my opinion. Those are the 2 things that are like the most annoying. It's because like we were talking about, I'm not a huge fan of 1-card engines, and Invoked always have a play because Alistair always searches out Invocation always recycles itself, and I don't really like the fact that they can use your resources. It's basically just saying I get a free monster, so they're always going to be able to establish board presence. Once Makaba gets on the board, you have to bait out the negation, and then 2, you have to find a way to be able to attack over it because it's going to be 3,500 when they use Alistair from hand. So when I'm thinking of the way of keeping Invoked in check, you have to, I don't think hitting Alistair is going to do shit because you only need 1. Like, you summon it, you activate an Invocation, add it back to your hand, or summon it, add back Invocation, add it back to your hand. Like, you only need 1 Alistair. So I don't believe that hitting Alistair is going to do anything. The things I think that could actually hit Invoked, and the things that I would advocate, is limiting Magical Meltdown, because then you just lose consistency, or limiting Makaba to 1. Because if I only have to deal with 1 Makaba in a duel, that's reasonable. Like, I don't really fear that deck anymore, because most of the Invoked decks like don't even run the ability to run Raijin anymore, unless they're running like the Windwitch version, or if they're running Droll and Lockbird in their main deck. Because not many of the good decks are running, wind type monsters anyway. So it's Makaba that's the annoyance and the pestilence, to where if I only have to deal with 1, and I know I don't give a shit if they have 5 Alistairs, because if I've outed the 1 Makaba, like that deck automatically becomes less, I guess, good. And then 2, if you limit, I don't think limiting Alistair will do anything, but if you limit his access primarily by hitting Meltdown, I think that's one way in which you can deal with the deck. So I would advocate either Magical Meltdown going to 1 or Makaba going to 1. For me personally, Makaba going to 1 makes the most sense because the card is just too easy to summon, and it's too good. And like the fact that you could keep making ones, multiple copies, making your opponent neg, which only takes you 1 card because Alistair is a 1-card engine, like that's just too good. You shouldn't get a free extra deck monster that good with 1 card. That's just my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think Invoked Mech Knight's been running around here for a while now, ever since this format started, and it's been consistently, like at regionals and YCSs and things, it's been topping all over the place. So I think it should be addressed in some form or fashion. And you're right. It's just such a consistent 1-card engine because we still have 3 Terraforming, we still have 3 Magical Meltdown, and we still have 3 Alistair. That's basically 9 copies of Alistair, So I think you're right. I think if you're going to go in that direction and you're going to hit Invoked, I think limiting Macabre to 1 is the way to go, because if you can just deal with that 1, basically their engine's pretty much shut off at that point. So
like the thing that made Invoked difficult to deal with is because you'd have to neg to get over Macabre, and then they would just bring up another one. So like I don't like the fact that they have like amazing recovery just because it only takes them 1 card. And you can Ash Blossom the Alistair and stuff like that, but that's assuming that you had the Ash Blossom when you needed it and stuff like that.
Right.
But you can always play anything in ideal image. But so that's my first one, is hitting Invoked some way. But for my second one, and it's one that I don't necessarily think a lot of people talk about, but I think it's just an engine that's getting way overused and way overutilized and just annoying, is I'm going to advocate hitting Predaplant Scorpio to 1.
Okay.
And the reason why is because this card is just so fucking annoying in those 60 card mill decks with Grass is Greener and stuff like that. Because I swear, like, you basically, even though they're running 60 cards, you're just like, okay, if you hit this thing to 1, they still have Lone Fire Blossom at 3. Whatever. What other ways do they summon this motherfucker? It's pretty much Lone Fire or normal summoning it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and there's the plant link monster, but that's not even. Most of the time, it's usually a Lone Fire or just normal summoning.
Or just normal summoning. And assuming you have the Ash, you shut down that play. Yeah, I get it. But like, otherwise, if you don't, this thing is an automatic like freaking Saryuja, and then they always send like Trick Clown and stuff like that, and Thousand Blades to the graveyard, and then they're able to summon what was that Saber card that freaking Zodiac used to use? Oh,
the MX Saber Invoker.
Yeah.
They special summon the Thousand Blades off that, and then
and it's just, and then they'll summon Minerva and basically mill a bunch of shit and Trick Clown and Fairy Tale Snows in the graveyard and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't like how you can search a powerful card like Brilliant Fusion off of 1 card, and it's just far too easy and far too consistent. And the fact that you get to make a 1 card Saryuja off it, I don't know. I just don't like the idea to begin with. I just don't.
And then Saryuja draws you 4 more cards into your deck, so you can kind of just pick and choose your hand and mold it the way you want.
Yeah, with that kind of draw, they're going to draw into a matrix piece, like, I don't know, Grass or something like that. I don't know. It's pretty dumb. I don't know. I just want to see the deck go. It's just far too good. And then like Fairy Tale Snow is just far too much disruption. It's just very hard to get over that kind of stuff, and it's all really stemmed from this 1 card. So I think the OCG limited it, right? The Scorpio?
I believe they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
See, most of the time, like I actually agree with OCG lists because they actually like limit cards and hit cards that I actually really agree with. Like TCG never hit Fairy Tale Snow, and I never understood that. I was like, Fairy Tale Snow was a pretty stupid broken card, but OCG hit it semi-limited. I don't know if they brought it back to 3, but I also think that hitting Scorpio, because like Brilliant Fusion, whether you agree or not, is a damn good card in links. Like, it's just a damn good card. Like, you can do something with it.
For sure.
And so I want to see that shit die. Like, if you draw the Brilliant Fusion, good. But I just don't like how you can just search from the deck with this motherfucker. I don't know. It's just...
I definitely agree with you, for sure.
But those are my 2 cards to hit. So the thing I have left is my cards to bring back. So
okay.
I'm going to start with my one that I think most people will agree with, and then I'm also going to go with my controversial one. Okay. So things that come back, Gateway.
Gateway to 6?
To 3.
You're talking about 6 Samurai Gateway, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got Gateway back to 1, I think like 2 formats ago, something like that. And it's 6 Samurai, even with the new support, has done literally nothing. So I think even with 3, it still wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I know they're able to spam out a bunch of monsters like not like equal levels and stuff like that. So I guess they're trying to go for like a link kind of thing with it. But I don't know. I feel like if you put this thing at 3, it'd be kind of interesting to see what the new support's able to do with it.
Right.
That's just my honest opinion, though. I think that if it can come back to 3, and then I would be interested to see if anybody could do anything with it. But
I think it'd be cool, because especially with I think I can't remember like what event it was, but recently there was a I can't remember if it was like in North America either. It might have been Europe or something. But there was a True Draco Six Samurai list that topped somewhere where they use diagram to pop the level 1, the new guy, and he special summons one from the deck. So like if that deck had triple gateway, that'd be like pretty spicy, I think. But
yeah, but yeah, that's just and then my other one. This is the controversial one. The Volvo chain.
Oh God. Yeah. So you're getting into like.
It's just like I look at it. I mean, Daigusa Emerald should never been banned to begin with. That's Zodiac's fault. And like I
agree
also,
completely.
There are other things that could honestly come back to. Dark Destroyer would probably come back to 3. I wouldn't give a crap. What other things would probably come back? Dark Destroyer. But like, well, I was also looking at the other monsters, and I look at Lavalval Chain, and I'm like, you know what? That guy really could come back maybe to 1. And yeah, there are a lot of monsters that you could Foolish Burial and be like advantageous. Things that come to mind, I guess, are like, I don't know. Fairy Tale Snow's 1.
Snow.
Destrudo.
Oh, Destrudo. That would be. Oh yeah, dude. That's.
But like, what other cards? Because like, Level Eater's gone. Dandelion's gone. Like things like that. Like, what other cards could you send that could be broken? I know I'm probably missing a lot.
I will agree with you. I think Foolish Barreling a monster nowadays is not as powerful as it used to be. Maybe even like a year or two ago.
We have several decks that do that too. Like already.
Right. Yeah.
So if Foolish Burial's at 1 and you're in your main deck. Well, I understand. I guess if it's in an extra deck, you don't even have to draw it. I understand that. But like Lavalval Chain, I feel like it maybe come back to 1. I guarantee you there's probably shit that I'm just not thinking of though right now when it comes to monsters that you can send off of it. But like for me, I think that Lavalval Chain can go back to 1. But then at the same time, I'm just like, there's probably things I'm not thinking about, and then people are gonna like come up with some broken ass like combo or FTK with it. I don't know. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think every format people discover some new FTK or some new like degenerate bullshit or something. But I can see it being okay coming back to 1. Personally, I don't know. I think you're playing with fire in that instance. Just being able to like send any monster to the graveyard. Like there's got to be some kind of degenerate shit you can do with that. Right.
I know. Yeah, that's what I'm basically thinking. I was like, there's got to be something that you can do with it. But when I think of stuff, I'm like, okay, Fairy Tale Snow. Okay, Destrudo. But then I'm like, what else could you send that could be like a combo enabler that's really, really broken? I don't know. Like, I can't think of one right now. Like, can you?
Not really. But it'll be interesting to see. I feel like with each list nowadays for the past couple of formats, Konami always brings something back that like surprises people. Like nobody saw Monster Reborn and Judgment coming back last format, you know?
Yeah, we thought that TCG is usually pretty like conservative when it comes to that stuff. I thought that was pretty liberal, like when they were just like, "Yep, let's go." Like, and so I actually liked it though. I was like, "Wow, they're actually bringing back like."
Yeah, I definitely I like it too. I think it generates a lot more interest in the game from people who have stopped playing or whatever. So I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll surprise us and bring something broken like that back next format. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But those are pretty much. So would you be receptive to whatchamacallit coming back?
I think it'd be cool. It would be interesting, and it would probably shake things up a lot because I feel like rank 4 decks in general have kind of fallen out of favor nowadays. It's all about making like Lynx and Saryuja and Borlo Dragon and things like that. But with a powerful rank 4 like a Lavalval Chain coming back, I think that could kind of generate some more interest in like rank 4 toolboxes in general, which would be kind of cool. So
yeah. Well, those are my ones.
Before we go, I actually did have a couple of honorable mentions that we didn't actually talk about in the video. Well, first of all, I think it's no secret that Konami's going to ban that Lyrilusk Independent Nightingale card.
Yeah,
that enables the Pendulum FTK. The Pendulum FTK has not been running as rampant as I think people originally thought it was going to when it was first discovered. But the card's still broken nonetheless, and I think it's just time for them to axe that shit and just get rid of it because they've shown us time and time again that they hate FTKs. So I think they'll probably definitely get rid of that.
Right.
My other honorable mention, I feel like this could actually swing either way. They may not touch it or they may touch it and surprise everybody. but I could honestly see them hitting Ash Blossom to 2. Just Ash Blossom is such a powerful card. Yeah.
Like it can be just as good as like freaking Delinquent Duo in some cases. Like some people go -2 against that card. It is a broken card.
Right. Which,
not broken, but it's situationally too good.
Most people seem to think that Ash will be reprinted in the 2017 or 2018 Megatins later on this year, which I can see that happening. So I think if that's their plan, they're not going to hit it until that happens. But we'll see.
Yeah. I think Ring of Destruction come back to 3.
Ring of Destruction, yeah, probably. I mean, so could Compulse and like a whole bunch of other stuff. But
well, I'm just saying that because they just came up with all that support for it, so like I think they would probably increase its see. Kind of like when they randomly unlimited crush card. Like I don't know.
Yeah, especially now that Rod has the errata to where you can't actually kill your opponent with it.
What do you think of this? Heavy Storm to 1.
Ooh, that's. I don't think it's going to happen with pendulums. Just being able to blow up your own scales is too good. I don't think they're going to bring it back.
You think they blow up their own shit?
Yeah, dude. Like you can, especially with like the magician shit, you can plus off that. So like you can go so plus off being able to like blow your own stuff up. That's why. Well, I mean, they did bring Wavering Eyes back, but still, I don't know. I don't think they'll bring Heavy Storm back for a while.
I think it'd be a good time. I don't know. I think Double Iris could come back too. If you're gonna hit Astrograph.
Okay, yes. If they hit Astrograph to 1 or ban it, then you can bring Double Iris back, and I won't care.
I did like that random hit though when they actually hit Astrograph, because most people are like, "What the heck? Why?" And I'm like, I can see why. Like that card was pretty stupid.
Yeah, just being able to search the trap card.
Plus, like it's not even like hard. It's not even hard OPT, right? Like they just keep blowing shit up.
It's not a hard OPT. So,
yeah. But yeah, those are pretty much my my ones. I don't really think anything else. Right.
That's all my stuff too. So I mean, definitely leave down in the comments below what your guys' thoughts on the upcoming ban list is.
I want to know and I also leave in the comments if you know some stupid thing that you can do with Lavalval Chain that where it shouldn't be brought back.
Yeah, somebody post down in the comments the most broken combo you can do with Lavalval Chain in link format. I want to see it.
Somebody knows. Yeah, somebody who watches this knows if anybody watches it.
All right, well, so I guess that's it for our thoughts. Again, be sure to leave us, drop a like, and be sure to put down in the comments what your thoughts on the upcoming list are. And we will see you guys in the next video.